What's up, Collide? Have you ever gotten a toy or something that needed to get put together in order to use it? I mean, there's craft projects, Legos, playhouses, or even furniture from IKEA. There are so many different things that come with instructions that tell you how to build it correctly so it can be strong and function fully as it was intended to. Now, I think there are a few types of people in this world and how they handle these projects. Some people go page by page through the instructions, open all of the pieces when they're ready to be opened, and build it as perfectly as possible. They want to do it right the first time, so they follow the instructions closely. All right, raise your hand if that is you. Do you follow instructions? Y'all, I am right there with you. That is me 100%. Then, of course, there's the opposite. Some people don't care about instructions at all. They throw them aside, dump out all the pieces into one big pile, and try to figure it out on their own. Anyone here avoid following instructions? Be honest, it's okay. People are right there with you. Okay, then there's also people who are kind of in the middle. They flip through the instructions quickly to get a general idea of how it's supposed to get built, but don't really follow it. Or they might just YouTube a video of a random person who filmed themselves putting that thing together. They'd rather try it on their own, but we'll take some guidance or suggestions on how to do it. Anyone an in-betweener when it comes to following instructions? See, I think in life, we can all be in-betweeners with all kinds of things. Maybe it's not putting together your Lego set. Maybe it's on your sports team or at school or with your family or even with your faith. Your coach has you run 20 laps at practice to help you become a better athlete. But he's not counting, so you only do 15 because you don't think it matters that much. Or maybe your teacher gave you homework and extra math problems because they know you need it to really help it sink in, but you think, okay, I did all of them at school and got most of them right, and I did my homework 3 times this week, so I'm just gonna skip this one. Who really uses math in real life anyway? Or maybe, instead of reading your Bible on your own and talking to God in prayer to grow in your relationship with Him, you'd rather just go on YouTube or TikTok and see what random influencers have to say about God, and you just go from there. Sometimes, we all take a look at the instructions in life and just toss them to the side. Maybe we do this because we like the idea of growing and doing things well, so we take the first step. But when it comes down to it, sometimes doing things the right way is hard, and we don't want to put in the work. Sometimes we think we know better and just want to do it our way. Or sometimes the peer pressure is just so strong to do it the wrong way, which seems like the cool thing, that it feels impossible to go against the social norms. So why do we keep looking at instructions if we won't actually follow them? I know deep down we all want to build a better life and be a good person. We all want to be successful, accepted, and loved. So we look around at these different instructions to figure out how to get what we truly want in life and as easy as possible. But building a good life and being a good person starts with integrity. When we started this series last week, we said that integrity equals authenticity plus good character. Or to put it another way, integrity means living as the real you and demonstrating good character. Authenticity is being real, and good character is doing the right thing. And Jesus said many different things about integrity and building a better life. And much of what Jesus taught is recorded in a part of the New Testament known as the Sermon on the Mount, where he shared ideas through parables, which is just a fictional story that teaches a lesson. And in the one we're going to read, he used the example of building a house to show what it's like to build our lives. So open with me to Matthew chapter 7. We're starting at verse 24. It says, "Anyone who listens to my teaching and follows it is wise, like a person who builds a house on solid rock. Though the rains come in torrents and the floodwaters rise and the winds beat against the house, it won't collapse because it is built on bedrock. But anyone who hears my teaching and doesn't obey it is foolish, like a person who builds a house on sand. When the rains and floods come, the winds beat against that house, it will collapse with a mighty crash." See, what made all of the difference was where the house was built and what type of foundation each had. He explained that building your life on a firm foundation matters. When we build our lives on Jesus, using Him as our instruction manual, letting Him lead us, change us, and have every part of our hearts, is like building a strong and stable foundation of your life. When we act with integrity and build our lives on something stable, no matter what storms in life come, whatever difficulties, ups and downs, we will still be standing. But if we ignore God's instructions and try to build our life on something like our own desires or feelings or what we think is best and easiest in the moment, our lives will be shaky and unstable. We'll be crushed, let down, and left broken when the storms of life hit. But through Jesus' words and actions, he gave us instructions for how to build a life on a strong, stable foundation. That looks like acting with integrity and choosing to live the way Jesus taught us to live. Not the way that the world does or when we think we know better, but living the way that Jesus said is best. Remember how we talked about integrity equals authenticity plus good character? One way we demonstrate good character is by practicing what Jesus said to do and following his example. Integrity follows what Jesus says is best. So where do we start? First, we can start by learning more about Jesus. He created us and has given us the instruction manual called the Bible that we should use to know how to build our lives so well, so that they are built on a strong foundation, so we can live the way the creator of our lives intended us to live. Second is follow Jesus' example. Remember, integrity follows what Jesus says is best. He doesn't give us the instruction manual for us to throw it away and do our own thing. And I know sometimes we think we know better and what's easiest or what feels good, but I am sorry to tell you, you don't know better than God. We need to follow what he says is best, even when we don't agree, even when it's hard or scary or goes against the norm. He is God. He made us, and he knows what's best for us. So let's follow what Jesus says is best. And he tells us pretty clearly if we would just read the instruction manual. A few chapters ahead in Matthew chapter 22, verse 36 through 39, somebody asked Jesus what the most important thing we should do and how we should live our lives. It says this, "Teacher, which is the most important commandment in the law of Moses?" Jesus replied, "You must love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. A second is equally important. Love your neighbor as yourself." So the third thing that we need to do to grow our integrity is to love God and love others. He's not just saying your literal neighbors next door, although they're included. He's saying everyone in your life. Practice loving those around you regardless of if you think they deserve it or not. And when we do these three things, we will be well on our way to building a better life and doing it with integrity. See, we all want to build better lives. Living with integrity and following Jesus doesn't promise that life will be easy. It doesn't mean that storms won't come. It means that when they do, you'll still be standing strong with Jesus as your foundation. And when we practice following Jesus and living with integrity by doing what he said, we build lives with a better foundation. So Collide, before we head to groups to talk more about it, I want you to start thinking, what is one new way you can practice what Jesus said this week? And remember, we love you. We are here for you, and we hope you have amazing conversations in your group. We'll see you next time.